What's going on, guys? It's your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me doing the Should You Summon for Festival Merlin coming to global this Tuesday. So let's talk about it in this video. Before we actually hop into the video, make sure to subscribe to your boy Amazing. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers, man. Guys, we're literally like 60 subs away from like 26k. So if you guys have not subscribed to the channel already and you like the content, definitely make sure to subscribe. With that out of the way, let's hop in and talk about the Festival Merlin. So what we're gonna talk about is we're gonna go over her kit, we're gonna go over her banner, and then we'll kind of talk about at the end, is she actually just worth summoning for in general. We're gonna kind of talk about it, guys. So let's start with her banner. We'll talk about the way her banner is structured and like the featured units, and then we'll move over to her kit, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. So if we click onto the raids here, by the way, I'm on my Korean version, so this is how we can see the banner out already. But if we go to the rates right here, this is what the banner is going to look like. So you have brand new Festival Merlin featured, old Festival Merlin, Festival Diane, and Hijack Gother. And then you have Green Escanor, Green Arthur, Excalibur Arthur, Azalin Hawk, Summer Ellie Hawk, Summer Merlin, Miguelda, Ragnarok Merlin, Green Sariel, Scotty, Elat, Jormungand, Red Tarmiel, Blue Captain Meliodas, and then Freyr. So that's gonna be the whole banner right there. 4% total, as it is a festival banner, which does make sense, right? 0.25 rate up for all the festivals is a given as well, which they do make up a total of 1%. So 1/4 of all your summons on this banner are going to be a festival, which is pretty good. But yeah, man, that's basically it in terms of the banner. Obviously it's standard festival format, so you have your 300, 600, 900, your 900 being where you could select one of the 4. And yeah, so that's gonna be Merlin's banner. Let's move over to her kit now, and I'm gonna kind of explain how her kit works, and then we'll kind of talk about my should you summon thoughts at the end of the video. So let's move on to the kit information. Alright, so shout out to GC Database. I pulled up the website here to actually get an idea of what Merlin's able to do. So Infinity Mage Merlin, attribute green. She is unknown race as well. So we'll go over her passive, and then we'll go over her cards as well. So Infinite Elements. So at the start of the ally's turn, randomly applies one element on enemies without element effect. For every element effect, increase all stats of the hero by 7%. Before activate skills against enemies with element for 3 turns, apply the element effect on the enemy. When there are 4 element effects on the enemy, remove them after your skill activation and apply the element debuff for 1 turn. Element debuff being either rock, which is going to be stun, fire, which is going to be additional damage equal to 50% of max HP, water is going to disable attack skills, and wind is going to minus 100% of the enemy's crit rate, which is pretty good. So overall, guys, her passive, it's kind of like an Estarossa type passive, because as you can see, she does get all stats per element effect. But you guys have to understand that the most she can get is going to be 21%, because there's going to be 3 enemies. And another thing to take into account is that this only applies when the element effect is there. And as you guys can see, like let's say, so when, so right here, so the element debuff, right? That's what it's saying. So randomly applies 1 element for every element effect before activate. Yeah, so it's basically it's saying I don't know if this is a mistranslation from what's it called, from GC Database, but I was looking at Nagato's post, and he was kind of talking about it, that it doesn't give you the all stats from each of the element effects. It's only when you get the element debuff effects at the end. So when you get the rock, the fire, the water, the wind, like when you get that at the end, that's when you start getting the 7% all stats, which, you know, it kind of does suck, because it's not necessarily like an Estarossa type thing where Estarossa is like per darkness. And remember that these element effects are cleansable, but the element debuffs I think are cleansable as well. I think the initial element effect is not, though. So yeah, that's basically her passive right there. Let's move on to her skills. So her first skill is going to be Dissolve AoE, but it's going to be the one that is basically the one on Green Gother, the one on Summer Merlin, that Dissolve skill. So that's going to be her first skill. And then her second skill is going to be inflicts element explosion damage equal to 130, 195, and 325%. And element explosion increases damage dealt by 40% per element on the target. So that's going to be Merlin's 2 skills right there. In terms of her ultimate, guys, this is how her ultimate is going to work. So, randomly applies one element effect that does not overlap with the current element effects on the enemy, and inflicts element explosion damage equal to 350% of attack. Then it scales up to 6 out of 6, which gets you 4 element effects and 525% of attack. So you guys can see this is the multiplier right there, and then this is going to be the percent multiplier. So that's actually insane. And also another thing to take into account is this actually does increase the damage on the multiplier. So at 1 out of 6 it's only going to be 5% per element, and then at 6 out of 6 it's going to be 40%, just like her card. That is kind of crazy, man. I do think a 6 out of 6 Merlin is going to be very valuable. 1 out of 6 is going to be a little bit lackluster from what I'm seeing. But yeah, that's overall her kit and all the info kind of surrounding that, guys. So yeah, then obviously her stats are going to be pretty good because she is a festival. So yeah, let's move back to the banner, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts and we'll kind of talk about it. Alright guys, we're back on the Merlin banner. Let's talk about my final thoughts on if you should be summoning on the banner. What I'm going to say right now is that I would recommend you guys do at least 900 gems on the banner. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of people missed out on Festival DN on her initial release. Festival DN is rerunning on this banner, so that's one thing to take into account. Another thing to take into account is that Festival Merlin, she's not as like crazy as like, I don't know, like Estarossa or any of these other PvP units on release so far from what I've seen from like JP players playing with her. So from release, she doesn't seem as broken as like, you know, all the other PvP festivals right now. But she does seem pretty good, and in the future she could get a lot better, so that's definitely something to take into account. So right now, if you don't think she's like the greatest character in the world, you could skip the banner. But I would recommend to at least do 900, get one copy just in case she ever becomes relevant, because she could be a very good unit. Another thing to take into account is Red Tarmiel, Freyr, Jormungand, and Green Sariel are featured on the banner. Even Miguelda too, and even like Summer Merlin, you know, like even if you don't get the new Merlin, Summer Merlin's cracked. So there's a lot of options you got on this banner in terms of pulling, and if you pull any of these like characters down here, which a lot of the filler is actually very good, you know, I think you're set. You know what I mean? Like if you are missing, you know, the Demonic Beast characters, so like Jormungand, Miguelda, if you're missing those two characters, it's gonna be really good. Freyr is good on like all Demonic Beasts, literally. And obviously Red Tarmiel is gonna be such a staple link in the game, so there's a lot of value in this banner. I will say it definitely can be worth it for a lot of players, but it honestly depends on where you or how you feel about the Merlin, and if you do want to chase the Merlin with the unfeatures along the way. So you know what I mean? If you don't necessarily care about the Merlin, but you want like some of the unfeatured, you could do like a few multis and then just skip the rest of the banner. Feel free, man, but I do think that I would say the safest play is to do 900 on the banner. And you know, along the way you guys are going to be getting a lot of other units too when you're summoning to go for the 900 pities. So I do think it is worth it in that sense. And you know, obviously you can pull more Merlins you know, when you're doing your summons. So yeah, man, that's basically my thoughts on the banner. I would say to summon at least do 900 because I did tell people to skip Festival DN when she initially released, and then, you know, lo and behold, she became one of the best characters in the game. Red Tarmiel released and she was like super broken. So yeah, man, that's my thoughts. Definitely let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Do you guys think Merlin is a summon? I would say if you don't care about Unknown Team or just using Merlin in general from like seeing her kid, she's a skip. But if you do want some of the unfeatured characters and you're like, oh, I don't mind picking up Merlin as well, then, you know, definitely make sure to summon on the banner. So that's going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below. And I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day.